What is up, guys? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well over here. Today, I'm going to break down my sync licensing income for February of 2026. So, I got statements from ASCAP and BMI. If you don't know, I switched from ASCAP to BMI halfway through 2025. So, we're going to compare the royalties between the two. Of course, most of my stuff is still coming through ASCAP, but the BMI is actually coming through faster than I expected. It's been less than 9 months, and I already got some domestic royalties. So let's take a look at both statements. I'll try to not show you the boring stuff. I'll show you the good stuff. Let me just say, too, the February ASCAP statement was international only, and the BMI statement is international and domestic. The ASCAP was down about 25% from compared to last year, the same time, but BMI almost made up for all of the difference. So here's the BMI statement. Close to 50-50 as far as international versus domestic. So first off, low earnings, but I got some money from U.S. commercial radio. In my 8 years or whatever of being with ASCAP, I've never gotten any domestic radio royalties. And I know there's a lawsuit about that because they purposely avoid, it seems like, paying people for this stuff. So where's all that money going? I don't know. But happy to see it. It's from an independent music library, a track co-written by my buddy Gus. Shout out to Gus. That went live July or August, probably last year. So this is really quickly that it came through. Less than 9 months, like 7. And I got a nice US golf placement. Same track, same co-writer, $128.63. I've had probably like a dozen golf placements when I was with ASCAP, and guess what? They didn't pay me. BMI, this is a very good sign. Even though this is a low earning statement, I am happy to see how quick and how they're not missing stuff. I didn't even know about these through TuneSat. So ASCAP's the opposite situation where it's like, oh, I have dozens of shows on TuneSat, but where are the cue sheets and why am I not getting paid for the cue sheets that I did get? Seems like a complete 180. I like it. There's a little bit here from National Cable TV Association. I don't know the track name, but it's US, 50 cents. Moving on to international now. Some internet payments from Canada. Denmark, digital AV payments. So Denmark's taken over a decent amount. None of this is really that big, but it does add up to a decent amount of money. The gift that keeps on giving is Magnum PI. They re-air that all the time, so some dollars from that. Mexico, Ireland. UK's getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, the UK is a few pages and over $100. Let's see how that compares on the ASCAP one. Yeah, so it's coming through. Stuff's going through BMI. Only in the hundreds right now, but it will grow, and eventually BMI will be collecting, I'm guessing, 80 or 90% of the international stuff. And it'll be 100% of anything new as well, in theory. Moving on to ASCAP. So like I said, it was about 25% lower than the same time last year. But adding in BMI, it's only down a tiny bit. It's the transitional period that's the only reason why it's lower. Other royalties were high. Television was the number one type of royalty. I'm not going to show you every single country, but we'll skip around to the good stuff. The top earning country, once again, Czech Republic, or Czechia is what it says. Over 1/3 of the whole statement. Next is Germany, even though it's not the TV month. Japan is good. Sweden is good. And as I'm looking at the UK, yeah, it's only like $15 because I guess most of it is now going to BMI. Canada was represented pretty nicely on the BMI statement. There's just very low money on here. Other royalties. Here's some decent stuff. Croatia. So a lot of this is my ukulele stuff through several different libraries. A $16 placement, an 11, a 7. TV in Croatia, I don't know what it is, but unexpected $36. I can get a nice sushi dinner tonight with that. Here's Czech Republic. We're looking at the TV in the Czech Republic. This is only one page of it, but the highest earning placement on this statement is $287.25. That is, once again, for my track A Day in Paradise. That is one of the top 5 earning tracks I've ever done. And it's always in the Czech Republic that I get a lot of money from it. Must be a theme song or something. There's a $42 one here from the same album. More TV stuff from the Czech Republic. They have not gone through BMI yet, so I'm still getting all my Czech Republic royalties from ASCAP. My top 3, I guess, earning countries all time would be Germany, Czech Republic, and the US. This is interesting. It's not the German TV month that they pay. That's August, for ASCAP at least. But I got a $229 thing on here. It says GEMA tax refund 2023. And in fact, this whole page is stuff like that. I wonder what that is. That track is from APM and Universal. Older classical guitar track. That's number 2 on this statement. Also, I'm seeing more stuff on this statement for like $0.00 than I have in the past. Possibly due to the BMI switch. I also did not get a publishing international payment, which means that all of my placements and stuff were from exclusive libraries. There's nothing self-published. I only ever get a little bit from that, like Pond 5 placements that somehow got in the UK or whatever. Old stuff like that. But yeah, this is all exclusive libraries. So that's the way it goes. Italy. I don't usually get a lot from Italy, but there's a $13, a $9, and a $7 placement. Random stuff. Japan was good. Let's see. I'm not going to show you all the pages, but here is the television portion. It's a variety of placements. I see a Warner Chappell track on there. BMG, Universal, everything, man. Some ukulele stuff, some kids music that I did, rock, and some like acoustic, gentle stuff. Pretty good. There's a $14 thing in Lithuania and other stuff, but that's the biggest. I did see Mexico on the BMI statement, and there's some on the ASCAP, all right? But it's only 18 cents from ASCAP. The BMI was like $6. That's not a high earning country anyway for me. But it shows that that transition is in progress. Netherlands often is pretty good for me. There's only a little bit of stuff. I'm guessing that it's in the midst of the switch over. Here's a few good things from the Netherlands. I'll screenshot. At least it's in the dollars. Quiet Reflection. That was an acoustic track I did for Universal. Different libraries on there. African Sands. That's one with my buddy Emil. Shout out to Emil from our Afro Beats album. Not much money yet, though. Yeah, there's just like a decent amount of stuff for $0.00. More than usual, and I'm guessing that's because BMI is now collecting that stuff. This is interesting. In the Philippines, I got some royalties for download musical works. And 4 of these are Getty Images tracks, okay? So that's a library that doesn't exist anymore. It was a royalty-free, non-exclusive thing. They had it in their contract that like you couldn't get back-end royalties if you check these boxes and stuff, but that's how you get the most royalties from the library. I thought I would never see any back-end royalties from it, but here they are. If you guys don't know Getty Images, in my early days, they were a good earner for me. They go through Epitome now, which is the library that's notorious for not sharing back-end royalties. And they don't even allow you to be part of a PRO, actually. So it's strange that showed up on there. A lot of TV in South Korea, but only adding up to $13. Like 2 pages of stuff, including a lot of rock. In Sweden, I had audio-visual streaming on demand thing for $29. Here's one page of the Sweden TV stuff. It's not a ton per placement, but it all adds up to a decent amount. A lot of this is U.S. re-airings. Total for UK from ASCAP was $15 and change. On BMI, it was $62 and change. So that transition is closer to being complete. And still, those numbers are low for the UK for me. I've gotten, in the hundreds on a given statement, but it could just be that it's this time of year. The UK, I don't really know when the good paying month is, or if they're all just kind of even or whatever, or if it's random. So that's all the good stuff I'm seeing on here. Definitely a transitional period with all the $0 placements and stuff. And I am happy about switching. BMI is already paying me for stuff less than 9 months ago. If you're a member of ASCAP, leave immediately or whenever your time is up, especially if you do sync licensing. They are not efficient. They don't pay for uses of your music, and that's the whole reason they exist. I got more on my first tiny BMI statement from radio royalties in the U.S. than I've gotten my whole career with ASCAP. I would bet that I'm missing out on like $30,000 from ASCAP. If I started with BMI, I could quite possibly be full-time with sync licensing, but I'm not because the U.S. royalties are garbage the way they do it. Let's say I get 100 placements in the U.S. on a given year. They will probably put cue sheets for 25, 30 of them in my account, and I'll get paid for like 6 to 10 of them. And then if I'm lucky, I'll hit a survey for one other one. Sports, ASCAP's not going to pay you unless you hit the survey. Most channels, like unless it's Fox, CBS, NBC, stuff like that, if the cue sheet is filed and they didn't lose it or whatever, then you'll get paid. And it's probably comparable to a BMI payment. But I'm very hopeful about a golf placement that got $150 or something with a co-writer. It makes me mad that I didn't switch many years ago. But instead of being mad about it, I'm trying to say, here I am now. Things are good now. So that's, it's a struggle to get that mentality in my head, but trying. And I'm hoping that the BMI stuff picks up quick. You guys let me know how you did on your statements. I'm curious to hear. If you're with ASCAP, then head for the hills, my friends. And thank you. We'll see you next time.